Welcome to the Road to a Millie call. Week number 69. Yes, I said it, week number 69. That is what this is. Um, and Katie, this has been 69 straight weeks that we've been documenting this journey. Do you remember week number one?
Oh, how could I forget? I think I made a time lapse video of me packing my first caddy and like boxing all of the cleaning supplies, and I was just geeked. I was like, I knew this was coming.
Yeah.
It was so exciting.
Yeah. So if you guys have not watched episode number one, you guys can go watch episode number one. It's actually just me because Katie was boxing her supplies up and packing her vacuum, and she was out cleaning for the first time in 4 years. I think it was since we started our first location. And you guys can find those recordings in the Road to a Million replays. Yeah, they're inside. They're actually now inside both the paid group. So if you guys are part of the paid group, you guys have been there, but also the free group. I actually put those in the free group as well. So if you guys are not part of the paid group, you actually can go watch the replays, and you guys can legitimately watch this business start at zero. Like, I had a message today from somebody who was brand new into the free school group. So if you're not part of the free school group, James will drop the link for the free school group. Already did. Great job, James. And you guys can all join that group. It's 100% free. There's information modules in there. There's access to any of the live calls in there. So this is a live call that's on there that Kate and I do. And then Jessica and Lucas have a live call. They're members of the community who have had insane results, insane progress. In fact, they actually have a YouTube video that's dropping tomorrow to showcase their story of how when they started with coaching, they were doing $13,000 a month. And they had been in business for 10 years. And then now they do over $90,000 a month. And it took them about 2 years to get there. So they're one of the people who do a coaching call. And then Kayla Irby is another member of the community as well. And Kayla Irby also had been in business for 10 years, and she got her business to $60,000 a month. So was doing pretty good. And I was like, well, let me show you how to do it even better. Or let me just help you. Not let me show you, because that's not the right way to do it, because she did all the work. Let me just show you that there's a possibility for you to actually have even a better business, because $60,000 a month for most people is like, it's great. But I'm like, it can get better. It can actually get a lot better. And she trusted me, and I just helped her see the path. And then, yeah, she did $128,000 last month. Um, crazy. So she has a call that you guys can also watch the journey. And the reason that we do these calls is because I had a person who was brand new to this free group, and they're like, "How do you do that?" They're like, "I've been sending." What did he say? I should go find this actually. He's like, "I sent emails, and um, I knocked on some doors for 4 days, and I got nothing." Right? And it's important, like, and I say it just because it's important for us to understand is like, it doesn't happen in 4 days. It doesn't happen in a month. It doesn't happen in 6 months. If you want to grow $1 million cleaning business, it's going to take years of work that you don't even realize that you have to do. It's going to take way more effort. There's going to be way more activity than you even can imagine that it's going to take in order for you to build $1 million home cleaning business. And so what's important, though, is that you guys are here. It's important that you guys are in business, because the best way to learn business is what, guys?
I'm reading about it, right?
Yeah, of course. You guys just go read. Go on Amazon and buy books about how do I build $1 million business. Oh, even better. Don't even like, then you got to wait for the book to arrive. You just go get it on Audible, right? Just go get it on Audible. Actually, no, that's too much. I don't want you guys to spend your $13.99 on Audible. Just go download a free podcast. Okay. That is the best way to learn how to do business. Podcast. Oh, actually, podcasts are boring. You guys should go on YouTube and Google how to build $1 million businesses and watch YouTube videos. That is the best way to learn how to build $1 million businesses. Okay. All those things have their place, by the way. It's a great way for you just to understand the landscape and general principles of what works. Because if you watch enough podcasts, read enough books, consume enough YouTube videos, you start to realize that everyone says the same thing. They just share it through their own story, through their own perspectives. But the principles are the same. And so that part of building a business, it's a season that everyone will need to go through. But if you actually want to learn what it actually takes, you want to actually discover, it's by doing business. And when I say doing business, I mean spending money on marketing, spending money on recruiting, spending money on employees, spending money on broken shit. I made a post inside the free Facebook group where I was like, what's the most expensive thing you guys have ever broke inside clients' homes? It was great. I was like, I think this is a great post. I'm just like curious. And there was like some pretty good ones, right? I think the most expensive one I saw was like a coffee maker or something for like $100. But the best way to learn business is to do business. And how you do business is you outlay money and money don't come back right away. And that is how you do business. And that's why people don't like doing business. It's because of that. Because money goes out and it doesn't come back in. They're like, I think I'll just consume free stuff, YouTube videos and podcasts. And then maybe I'll buy a book. Then maybe I'll buy a course. I'll spend a couple $100s. But if you want to learn business, the more money you outlay and it doesn't come back, there's your tuition. And so shout out to all you guys for paying the price of tuition. How many of you guys in here want to build $1 million businesses? Multi-million-dollar businesses. Yeah. The tuition just increases. So that $200, $300, $500 that you outlaid and didn't come back, double it, triple it, quadruple it. There's a lot of truth to be said that if you want to make $1 million, you got to lose $100,000 first. There's a lot of truth in that. If you make $100,000, you got to lose $1,000. And so understand that when those things happen, it is not a bad thing. It is not a negative thing. It's not a boohoo. But guess what? The world's not going to feel sorry for you because you lost money. And I'm going to challenge you to even feel sorry for yourself and instead reframe it and be like, this is the price I pay. This is tuition. What am I going to learn from this? What is the magic that is in this mistake? And if you're able to have that frame going into all these situations and you do it consistently and you're persistent with it, the probability of you making $1 million goes up from where it is today. Now, I don't know where you are today. Everyone starts in different places today. Everyone has different history. Everyone's done different amounts of work to get to where you are today. But regardless of where you're at, that is a formula that will increase your probability. And why is $1 million business important, Katie? We just talked about this right before this call. Why is $1 million business important?
Boost my ego.
Yeah, but for real, why is it important?
It provides enough to have an operator to operate while also giving you, the owner, time freedom and financial freedom.
Yeah. Let me summarize that into freedom. Because ultimately, that is what this game is about, freedom. The freedom for you to choose what you want to do with your life. The freedom to be able to say yes or no to things that align with what you see as your ideal life. And there's a price to pay for that. I think in our culture, there's a lot of entitlement that is created around like, well, I live in America, I can just do what I want, I'm free. And I just deserve to be happy. And I think there's a lot of sequencing that is involved in those thoughts that are missed. And so we do live in a free country. We do have rights, but the right to freedom is not one that we have. We have the right to pursue freedom. And there's a movie, one of my favorite movies, and you guys have probably heard this movie. Some of you guys have probably watched it, but it's called The Pursuit of Happiness. And man, it's one of those movies uh, I watch to remind myself that that is the only right we have, is to pursue happiness. We get to pursue freedom. It is not a right. And what it shows you is that there's also a price to pay for freedom. There's a price to pay for happiness. And the question is, are you willing to pay the price? And so that is what this call is to share with everyone in here what the price is to be paid. What is tuition? Right? To give you guys a system, to give you inputs, to give you clarity on exactly what it takes for you to actually pay the price of tuition for happiness, which comes from freedom, right? And so when the person asked me, like, how did you do that? Right? When I said that last month, our Arizona location hit $68,000 in revenue, which is what we've been talking about here for 69 straight weeks. And our Montana location hit $163,000 last month. So altogether, it did over $200,000 last month. Like, what it takes to do that is what I'm sharing with you guys today. So that way, whether you guys are just at $2,000 a month or $20,000 a month or $60,000 a month, you know exactly what the price is to be paid in order for you to continue to grow your business. Because it's not about how big your business is. It's about the progress that you've made and that you continue to make. Because in 6 months, if our business is still doing around $200,000, the same revenue mark, like that won't be fulfilling. It won't make us happy because we won't be progressing. It's not about $100,000 a month or $83,000 a month or $200,000 a month. It's about progress. And when we get focused on numbers and fixated on outcomes, once we hit the goal, then all of a sudden we lose the drive, we lose the inputs, we lose what got us there. And what got us there is just making progress. And so while we set milestones, it's important to understand these are milestones. That, like, once we hit $200,000 a month, like, that's just a milestone. That's not the goal. Once you guys hit your $1 million revenue mark, which is $83,000 a month, like, that's not the goal. That's a milestone. The goal is progress. The goal is to get better. The goal is to be able to look at yourself every single day and be like, man, I can do this for a long time. Like, I like this. It's rewarding. It's fulfilling. That's what the goal is. And that's where the freedom comes. The freedom comes from your ability to do what you like to do and to see yourself get better at it on a daily basis. All right. So without further ado, we're going to dive in here. But before we do, actually, so a lot of you guys are part of the coaching program. See, most of you guys are here. A couple of you guys are not. So one thing that I think is really cool is I do a thread. I've been doing a thread the last couple of months where I ask everybody inside our community to share their revenues of what they did this year versus what they did last year. And this goes back to the idea of progress. And again, it's not about what that number is, but it's in respect to where that number was before, because progress is fun. It's exciting. I don't care if you did $0 and now you're doing 10,000, or you were doing 30,000, now you're doing 60. Like, the progress, that is what is rewarding. And so I want to share with you guys. So any guys who are not inside the program, I want you guys to see what's actually possible here. I'm going to actually change my screen here for a second, so you guys can see this. And like, just believe that what is possible. And I think one of the greatest things that this call can also do for you guys is just to share with you guys what is actually possible when you guys have a system that works and you're inside a community where everyone just believes that, like, it can work for them too. And so I started out, I shared some of our numbers here. You guys can see. Katie, can you see this actually?
Yeah.
Cool. So again, our Arizona location last June did 24,000. This June did 68. Our Bozeman location, which is in Montana, did $107,000 last year. This year did 163,000. Lori, her business did $3,800 last June, and this June it did 10,000. Danny just launched his business. He did $174 in this month, or this year he did $18,000 in June. Julia, we're not gonna talk about Julia because she's crazy, but she didn't have a business in June, and then now of June 2024 and June 2025, she did 69,000 a month. It's crazy. It's like ridiculous, actually. Lindsay, June 2024 did 11,000. In June 2025 did 26,000. Just a nice little double, right? Aaron, June of 2024 did 11,000. In June did 40,000. Like a nice little triple. Jessica and Lucas, who I was referring to earlier, in June of last year, they did 47,000, which by the way, it's pretty dang good. And then this year, 89,848. So basically $90,000. Insane. Kayla, June last year, June 2024, 18,000, June 2025, 41,000. So a nice little double. Tristan, June 2024, 50,000, June 2025, 70,000. So only added $20,000 a month, which is $240,000 a year to his annual revenue. It's not very good. Just try harder, Tristan. Bethany, this is insane. June 2024, 37,000. June 2025, 71,000, almost $72,000. Just freaking bonkers. Alyssa, June 2024, 22,000. June 2025, 46,000. Just a nice little double. No big deal. No big deal. Kayla Irby, who I mentioned earlier as well, June 2024 did 70,000, and then June 2025, 128,000. Just wild, wild, wild. Bobby, June 2024, 25, June 2025, 44. Sydney, June 2024, 10,000, June 2025, 17,000. Jeremy Montoya, $0, and then $2,500. Tyler, Sacramento, yeah, June 2024, 16,000, and then June 2025, 39,000. These guys, super proud of them. Dante, 56. Oh, this is month to month. So he grew by $1,400 over the month. He didn't follow directions. We're gonna kick him out because he didn't follow directions. So you gotta follow directions, guys. Kayla, we have lots of Kaylas in the group apparently. We have 3 Kaylas in this thread. June 2024 had $0, and June 2025 to 6,500. Cool to see. Anna Harris, yeah, just one of my favorite people. One of my favorite people. June 2024, 46,000. June 2025, 60,000. Like, great job, Anna Harris. Gregario started with 0, started a new location, and then June 2025 to 37,000. Cool to see. Kristen, again, one of my favorite humans as well. June 2024, 8,000, and then June 25, 37. Basically grew by $30,000 a month. Just wild. Great job. Renee Krause. Oh, so this is a good one. This is a good one. Renee Krause actually went backwards. So yes, there are people who don't grow. But June 2024, Renee did 43, and June 2025 did 42. So she basically stayed the same as last year. But she still holds herself accountable that she wants to grow, and she started this month out with 46. So let's see if she can get to 50. Marcus, June 2024 did 1,400. June 2025 hit that $10,000 mark. Great job. Jacinta, again, someone else who just is a freaking stud. June 2024 did 47,000. June 2025 did 76,943, so 77,000, just an extra $30,000 a month. And then look at this, we've got a brand new one in here. Autumn just posted in here. June 2024 did 14,000. June 2025 did $38,000. So yeah, a little over double. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Like, it's possible, guys. It's possible. And I think that's to me, that is the most important thing I can share with you guys, is that, like, it's not just me and Katie doing it. Like, there's a lot of other humans in here who are also doing it as well. Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to be part of it. It's exciting to see it. Like, it is as much as like, I love it from a coaching standpoint. It also just pushes Katie and I to continue to grow our businesses as well. And like, grateful to be part of this community, and to be able to make the system better. And that's the cool part too, is like every time that this happens, the system gets better. And so when new people come in, they get a better system. So it makes the snowball effect just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So anyway, if you're not part of the coaching community, well, you should get in because Katie, how many spots? How many spots do you have left?
One.
One spot. Yeah. Thanks. Autumn and Ryan took one this morning. So yeah, guys. So if you guys do want to get in, now's your time. Now's your time. If not, forever just be on the sidelines. Okay. So now let's talk about actually how we did it. How do we do it? So if you're like, how do you actually grow a business? How do you get to $200,000 a month? How do you get to $10,000 a month? The same way to get to 10,000, the same way you get to 200. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you guys the vision sheet, which is going to give us the data, which is going to reveal exactly how we did it and are doing it. Okay. Let's see here. Week number 69. So this is the start of July / the end of June. So projected monthly revenue, this is for July, was 48,700. Last 30 days revenue is 71,000. Next 30 days revenue is 42. Trailing 12 months revenue is 679. Current monthly revenue is 10,000. Weekly revenue 14,000. So if you guys remember last week we had a holiday. So all you guys up north also had a holiday. If you guys did not know, Canada has a day called Canada Day that they celebrate on July 1st, which is the birthday of Canada. And if you guys are in America, you guys all know that July 4th is America's Independence Day from the Brits, the dirty, dirty Brits. And so we had Friday off, and we still managed to hit $14,000, which is a good week considering that we had one day where we didn't work. So that's a good week to start the month out with. Recurring clients, yeah, we're at 157. So last week we were at 157. Slight trend in the right direction, but still got some more to do. Weekly cleans 60, revenue per clean 240. Those numbers are looking pretty good. Number of cleaners still at 16 cleaners. Sign cleaning hours 19. Okay, that number's gonna be a little skewed because we only had four days last week, and then assigned cleaning hours 223. Okay, let's do the weekly breakdown. So if we had $14,000 a week in revenue, the breakdown of that is super important. Katie, why is the breakdown of the weekly revenue, why is that an important metric for us to pay attention to?
Yeah, how consistently are you going to be able to hit revenue goals will be heavily dependent on how many recurring clients, how much revenue you're generating in recurring. How secure is your business?
Yeah, exactly. So if you guys look here, you guys can see that from the 14,000 that we produced last week, 5,000 was initial clean money. So it's all first time. And then 9,000 was reoccurring. And so you guys can see our goals here right below that. Our goals hit 13,000 and then 6,000 in order for us to hit the $19,000 a week. And so our reoccurring is definitely the constraint. So putting an emphasis on reoccurring is going to be a very important thing that we do as we continue to put in work, put in the inputs every single week is how do we continue to increase our reoccurring client number. Our initial clean revenues from a sales standpoint is good. The thing that's going to predictably allow us to hit 19K a week, which is the $83,000 run rate, is going to be our recurring. So that's the constraint. So now we know what our constraint is. Katie, how do we do it?
You have to book more initial claims to be able to convert these people to recurring.
Yeah. And then outside of booking more, what else?
Connecting with people who we did actually serve on an initial claim.
Yeah. And also just doing a good job. Right? Having cleaners, having good cleaners. So this is the part that is, here's what makes it challenging. It's like, yes, all those two things. Sell more initial cleans, ask more people if they want reoccurring, but then also just like having good cleaners who clients want back in their home, that makes the sale even easier. So like if you were going to clients' homes, the probability of you getting clients is high. So how do you replicate you in clients' homes without it actually being you? And that is where the game of business is challenging. It's like a replication of your values amongst your people. And it's a skill, and all skills require practice. And the practice is usually in the beginning, it's like you're not being very good at it. So you're getting told no. It's by getting client complaints. It's having cleaners who just are nowhere near your values because you didn't know what you were looking for. But that's what it takes in order for you to eventually find the ones who are an extension of you, who they do the selling for you, and the clients are like, I want that person back in my house. And so that's why the game of business is it's simple, but it's not easy because that just takes a lot of hiring, the quantity of hiring people, and then also the quantity of letting people go and trying to set standards and also the quantity of conversations you have to be able to set standards. And instead of you blaming them, you blame yourself for their outcomes in clients' homes. Because it's very easy to say, you're the problem, Miss Cleaner. You didn't do this, this, and this, and this, versus saying, I'm the problem, Miss Cleaner. I didn't explain very properly how to do this, this, and this. And there lies the difference between somebody who holds themselves accountable to the outcomes of their business versus pushing off responsibility to other people. And the people who I see as the most successful people who are in this community are the ones who hold themselves to the highest standard and hold themselves accountable. And they have high expectations of themselves versus having high expectations of other people. So that is the goal. How do we turn that $9,000 into $13,000 a week? Received revenue. Yeah, we have almost $4,000 in less than 7 days, and then less than 7 or greater than 7 days, we have 282. So that number is good to see. Some discounts. Gave away $156 in discounts last week. Lots of Google review discounts. We have a internal marketing offers that we ran last week. And so for you guys who are inside the paid coaching program, I updated internal marketing. And so if you guys haven't, please go back to the internal marketing training. It is now updated. It is way better. It is way simpler. And I've updated the offers that we send to where we actually no longer send offers. We send text messages that create curiosity, and then we give the offers on the phone call. And this gives you much more options, and it's going to give you a higher response rate. And it'll get you less spam complaints because it's a friendlier tone rather than just like throwing money at people. So this is now updated inside the modules. So if you guys haven't, go check those out. And also, Kitty and I are in the process of testing out a way that we can actually automate a little bit of this process. So it just makes it simpler for whether you guys are doing it or your office staff is actually sending text messages that we actually can follow up with them and without having to remind ourselves to send follow-up texts. So that'll be very, very useful, very useful. Okay, external marketing. So this was, again, what was heavy on my mind this morning as I got that message inside the free school group that someone's like, I have been doing things for 4 days and I haven't got results yet. Marketing is a long-term process. Like nothing you do in the short term is ever going to, like there's nothing in the short term you can ever do that is going to elicit huge results. Nothing. No weekend hustle. No burst, no 6-week sprint. Like there's nothing in the short term that's ever going to create a monumental outcome. And I think it's important to understand that because the idea of intensity, it gets lots of attention, it gets lots of praise, so much so that like we think that we need to like put Herculean efforts in and then we'll get rewarded for that. You get rewarded for consistent efforts over a long period of time. Frequency beats intensity every time. And so when it comes to marketing, I don't care how much you did in a day. I don't care how much you did in a week. I don't care how much you did in a month. Don't necessarily care how much you did in a quarter. Like, show me what you've done for the last 6 months, for the last year. And if you've done that thing consistently for the last 6 months, for the last year. And so when you do something like marketing as an example, my biggest recommendation is to commit to it like you're going to do it for 6 months. Because if you're not going to do it for 6 months, then the probability of you actually getting it to work is very, very low. Now, the benefit of everyone who's inside the coaching program is like the marketing system that you guys get, it's been tested for years. So when you do get it, like the probability of it working is, 99.9%. But for everybody else out there who's like trying to figure out themselves, like it's going to take you 6 months just to know if it's good or not. And if it's not, then you also have to know like when to throw in the towel. You have to know like you gotta know what your sunk cost is, and that's where people are unwilling to. They're unwilling to admit their sunk cost, or to be able to, what is that called? To accept a sunk cost. They're like, yeah, I spent this much money, but it's not a good deal, and so they just keep spending money in that same medium, into that same channel. It's like, just let it go, bro. Like, let it go. I see this a lot with websites. People will spend thousands of dollars on a website, and they'll have a host, and they'll have all these things, and they'll spend all this money, and they're like, I've just spent too much money, I have too much invested. I'm like, yeah, I can get you a free website that performs better, and gets you more leads and makes you more money. And they're like, but I've already spent all this money over here. I'm like, this is what we call a sunk cost. It's like, let that money go and do this thing over here that has proven to work. And so, yeah, marketing takes time. It takes time. And also takes money. And so last week we had 2 channels that we spend marketing dollars on, and it's Google Local Services and Facebook. And altogether, we spent $1,900 between the 2 of them. We got 49 Facebook leads, 5 Facebook Messenger leads, 12 missed calls, 6 Google Local Services, 13 homepage leads, 7 incoming call leads, no referrals, for a total of 92 leads. So our total cost per lead was about $20. And from those 92 leads, we're going to talk about what we converted, how we converted. And we only had 13 spots unfilled last week. We have 63 open this week, which means we have quite a bit of openings that need to be filled. Our call volume was quite a bit lower last week. We only had 4 days in the week. So we only made 272 phone calls. We answered 43 calls, 30 calls were missed, 24 quote calls scheduled, 13 showed. We performed 38 calls and we closed 26 of them for a total of $8,789. So this was pretty much right at our goal. Again, it was a little bit shy, but we're right at that 5-to-1 ratio, which is cool to see. And then we had 4 conversions booked for a total of $1,395 of new additional money added to the books. So not a bad week, considering that we had a day off where we didn't have any sales on Friday. But yeah, 26 quotes booked for us. I would say that's on the lower end of what we normally do. But it was good enough for last week, and that's what's most important. Is like, we don't need these monumental, intense efforts every single week. We just need to be good enough for 52 weeks of the year, and that's what I look for. That's what I look for, right? Okay, client fulfillment. We had 60 total cleans. 16 were new. 44 were reoccurring/occasional. We had 3 correction cleans, 157 recurring clients, 104 occasional clients, 4 conversions, so 25% converted. And we had 10 Google reviews last week. And look at that, 550 5-star reviews. So many reviews. In fact, we always forget to update our goal. It's been since 500 since we updated it. I think we'll update it today, though. We'll go 600. How's that sound? Go 600 Google reviews. Yeah, I talk a lot about Google reviews from a standpoint of like what its value is. And so, yeah, I mean, when somebody Googles you and you have 550 reviews, like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. I think one of the most important things that I've seen in this consistently, so here's the cool part of the data that we have, is that we basically have had 2 different teams inside our business. If you guys have been following along, you know that the team we currently have is brand spanking new. Outside of 2 people that have been, one has been with us for a year. She just had her 1-year mark last week. And then the other gal has been with us for 6 months. She's had her 6-month mark, I think, last week as well. Outside of that, everybody is like less than 3 months old. So we have a brand new team. And you know what's interesting, guys, is that we're getting more reviews today than we did back then. And so it's not just the team. It's not the individual people, but it's the culture that has been created. And when we talk about Google reviews, because we do every single team meeting, every single time we get a Google review, it's posted inside our group chat. Like the team just believes. They just believe so much that they can get Google reviews that they just continue to ask. They continue to ask so much that we average, I think we average 8 reviews every single week. We average 8 reviews a week. It's crazy. And so I think one of the values of it, or one of the value of it is it's from a client standpoint, it doesn't hurt. I also wouldn't say that it's everything. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to do business with you because you have this many reviews. It's just the culture of the cleaners, and it allows them to play a game outside the game. How many of you guys have been cleaners before? How many of you guys have been in homes, working hard, sweating? It's tough work, right? How many times have you guys wanted to stop a clean mid-clean? This is hard, right? And so I think this is the game outside the game that's it allows you to push even when it's hard, because you're like, this could be an opportunity for a Google review. And then they get a Google review. Here's actually what happens is that they get to these homes, they want to quit, they don't quit. They get through it and they get a Google review and they're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't quit. That was so rewarding. That was so awesome. They got reinforced for that hard work. They got reinforced for that story they told themselves that I wanted to quit, but I didn't quit. I got a Google review for it, which means that I got praise, I did a good job, and I got money, I got tipped, and recognition. And then I got even recognized even more inside the group chat. And so it keeps people in the game because cleaning is challenging. It's work, right? Cleaning poop out of toilets ain't everyone's dream job. It's just not. So you have to give someone a purpose beyond that. And getting status and recognition is a great way in order to keep somebody doing the job long enough until they get good enough at it that they eventually, once you get really good at something, then all of a sudden it does become really rewarding. It becomes really you have a lot of pride in your work. But in the beginning, most people aren't good enough because they don't have reps. And so it's a way to play a game within the game to get someone enough reps so eventually they get good enough to where they're like, yeah, I'm a good cleaner. Right now, I love this job. Right, I love all the problems that come with the job. Right, so that's one of the values I see in the Google reviews. And also they get money for it as well. That also helps. So a nice little carrot. And I coach a couple of people who actually took away this carrot of giving the $10 per review in evidence. People just stopped asking because they were no longer incentivized. So giving the $10 tip, it works. Okay, canceled reoccurring clients. Ooh, we had a weekly client. We had 2 weekly clients that canceled. That hurts. One had just started. A couple of weeks it just got started. Yeah, so $1,500 was gone off the schedule, and we brought in $1,395, which means we actually lost reoccurring last week. So yeah, that's a tough one. It's a tough one. So our recurring revenue went down last week. Canceled cleans during the week, lost $1,774. Looks like we charged a cancellation fee on one of those, Nick Adamson, who's somebody who I signed up a long time ago. Cleaning acquisition. We spent $140 on Indeed. We had 39 applicants, 28 phone interviews scheduled, 19 performed, 14 Zoom scheduled, 10 performed, and we hired 1 person. Amber and Karina both went through onboarding, and then Madeline, she put in her 1-week notice, and so she was done as of Thursday. So we have a pretty slim pipeline right now. Let's see here. Yeah, so as far as hours last week, we had Katie and Brianna got the most hours. I think Katie actually worked on the weekends, and so did Dev. That's why she got more hours. I think she did a clean on Saturday. Kobe, 24, Alyssa, 23, Sierra, Courtney, Sadie. Yeah, Sadie had RTO last week. So yeah, so hours are pretty low. Olivia had a couple call outs. Landon also was red. Landon was done last week too. And actually, Madeline and Maya should, these hours, Katie, they shouldn't be on our training hours, correct?
Correct.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. We'll have our new VA fix that on our vision meeting here. So that'll change these hours a little bit. So you'll see the 6477 is high. So this is one of the ways that I can tell if numbers are messed up, because our normal man hour rate is yeah. So go ahead and undo that for a second. So you guys see now it's $56. That's aligned. If this number, like when you guys are tracking your data and you guys ever see numbers that are off, like this is a good way for you to be able to know if your data is like if something's messed up, because like your normal data says you make around $55, $56 an hour, and all of a sudden one week you have 64, like there's a good chance that something isn't being tracked properly, right? Training hours are hours that are not billed. So this is all money that goes into the cost to acquire a cleaner, which means that clients don't get billed for these hours, where clients get billed for all these hours, right? And so I actually have a calculator that I'll probably release to you guys in the paid community here sometime soon. Just updated it, but the actual cost to acquire a cleaner, and I just made it as like detailed as possible. Everything from like how much it costs you to do a Zoom interview. I bet you guys didn't know it actually costs you money to do Zoom interviews, phone interviews. How much it costs you to do Indeed. How much it costs you for training. How much it costs you just in payroll wages of hours that are not billed against, for you to actually understand what does it actually cost to actually hire, train, and onboard a cleaner. And once you guys understand what that number is, then at that point, you just have to do the math. So for example, if it costs you $1,000 to hire, train, and onboard a cleaner, how long does it take you to make that money back? What's your ROI, right? How many of you guys understand marketing ROI for clients? If you spend $1,000 and you make $5,000 back, then you break even, right? What is it for cleaners though? So yeah, that's something that been playing around the last couple of weeks, and I'll share that with you guys in the community here probably the next couple of weeks, or maybe this week, maybe on Wednesday. Actually, in fact, on Wednesday I'm doing a release, and so you guys will want to be on the Wednesday coaching call, because there's an updated module that is getting released, and part of that release will be this. There'll be a cost to acquire a cleaner calculator that you guys can all plug in your data for you to figure out what does it actually cost you in your business to acquire a cleaner. And so you know exactly how much money you need to make on that cleaner in order for them to break even. And then how long is it going to take you? How long is it going to take for them in order for you to get your money back on them? And everyone here has a story in their head that it costs a lot to hire a cleaner. But that's not useful. It's not helpful. You know what's useful? Is to know that it takes you 2.76 weeks once a cleaner is graduated in order for them to pay themselves back. And then after that, they are profitable to your company. And once you know that number for your business, maybe you'll be less afraid to actually invest in cleaners, because you know your data, you know your numbers. And that is why this sheet right here is the start. It's the start. It's not the finish. It's the start of you being more intelligent with your business, is because you're able to use data as a way to make decisions in your business. Okay. Correction cleans. We had 2 correction cleans, even though up top it said we had 3. Apparently only had 2. And then it looks like we didn't do any one-on-ones last week, or at least any were recorded. And that could just be because we have a transition. We actually transitioned VAs. We had to let one of our VAs go, who we've had for 3 years. We had to let her go. Just wasn't meeting the standard. We had multiple conversations about holding standards and showing up. And the biggest problem we had with her was just not being reliable, like saying she was on shift but not being on shift. And it's not a standard that we can handle in our business right now. Like, we need everybody to be all in. We need everyone to be there when they say they're going to be there. And so we had to make the tough decision. And yeah, it's good human, like just good human, good heart, and just couldn't meet the standard after multiple coaching interactions. Like, and we've given her lots of opportunities over the course of years. And just we realized that it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to change. She wasn't bought into the mission of growing this company to the next level, and that's what we need. We needed a VA who was all in, who wanted to be there, who was just as excited as the rest of the office staff was to be there. And so that's like the nuance of like the growth of the business is that like there'll be people who will get you guys' businesses from 0 to 20,000, 20,000 to 40,000, 40,000 to 60,000, 60,000 to 80 and on forth. There's going to be people who don't want to continue to grow. And so one of the lessons of growing a business to over $200,000 a month is that the same people who got it to $200,000 a month, there'll be even less of those people who are going to get the business from $200,000 to $300,000 a month. And by the way, the people who got to $100,000 a month, there's even less people who got it from $100,000 to $200,000 a month that are still on the team today. That's it. Like, it just requires consistent growth. And you guys are entrepreneurs. You guys are all in this game. Like, you guys know how hard growth is. It's challenging because the default is comfortability, and everyone wants to be comfortable. The path of least resistance. That's humans. Doesn't matter if you're in Canada, America. Doesn't matter if you're in Europe. Doesn't matter if you're in a country. Like, humans will choose the path of least resistance, and that is the opposite of growth. And so, like, this room is an anomaly in the sense that everyone here wants to grow. That's why you guys are on this call. You guys are spending your hour watching how to grow your businesses. But just mind you, like that's an anomaly. Like, the people around you are not most likely going to have that same thought process, that same mindset. And so to expect them also to have that also is not fair. And so what I've had to learn over the last decade of being in business now, because so it's taken a decade, over a decade, for us to be able to learn how to build a business that does over $200,000 a month, over a decade. Kitty, my first 3 years in business, Kitty was there. So if you guys don't know this part of the story, so I started my first business on December 14th, 2013. It was a gym. And Katie and I met on March 16th, 2014. So it was like 2 months, 2 months afterwards, 3 months. January, February, March. Yeah, literally 3 months after I started my business is when Katie and I met. And so Katie watched me grow my first business. How much money did I make in the first 3 years from 2014 to 2017?
In revenue or profit?
Yeah, well, revenue is the profit's not even, there was no profit.
Like $130,000.
Yeah. So my first 3 years in business, I made $135,000 in revenue in 3 years. So it's not lost upon me that $200,000 a month is like, it's good, right? But also, like, understand that like it wasn't an accident that we got here. It was on purpose, right? And it made for a lot of growth of me. And then eventually it made a lot of growth. Then it became a lot of growth for my team. And so the only people who have been here since day one is me and Katie. That's it. Right? And I only expect when in the next 10 years, the only people I expect to be in business in 10 years is me and Katie. That's the only expectation I have. My preference is that there's more people there that are still here today. I really do. That's a preference I have. But if it doesn't happen, it's okay. It's okay. And so when you guys are growing your businesses, just understand that there's gonna be people who are in your life right now that will not be here the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, and like it's okay. Because when I look back at some of the people who were in my business when I first got started, I'm so grateful for them. The very first employee I ever hired, his name was Michael Alzheimer. Very handsome young man, very handsome young. He approached me, came to my gym, asked me for a job. I said no. It's like I don't have any money. I don't even know what I'm doing, bro. He's like, well, can I just work out with you then? I was like, sure. And then so he conned me into working out with me for 4 weeks, and he just kept asking me every single time. It's like, hey, bro, let me just help for free. Let me just help for free. Let me just help for free. So finally, I just let him help for free for like a couple of weeks, and I was like, fine. Then I just ended up paying him money that I didn't have. And he was my very first employee, and he's somebody who Yeah, love him. Love him. Like he helped me break that belief that I could hire somebody when I didn't have money. Right. Because I went and just went and then I created money. I figured out how to make it happen. And there's so many people along the way that I can tell stories of along the way who helped me break beliefs and helped me get to the next level who are no longer on the team today. And I'm so grateful for every single one of them. Every single one of them. I have a story that I can say, I have a lesson I can learn from every single person. And so when people are not here with me today, like I don't think it's sad. I think it's amazing. I think it's great. It's like you were in my life in this moment. And I appreciate you for that. And now I hope that you learned something from this, from that moment you were with me. And I hope you're learning something in what you're doing now. Because unlike most people, I don't believe that like I have the best opportunity for every single person. Like if someone is not a good fit for me, that means there's a better opportunity out there from somebody else. It's only in my own ego that I believe that I have the best opportunity. Once I realized that like that was just me, that was my ego, that people actually can have better opportunities out there than what I can provide them. I was less concerned about them going somewhere else to work, whether it was their choice or my choice or mutual. It's like I just appreciate the time that I had with you here. And so that's one of the lessons that I believe is really that serves me today in all aspects of life. It's not just employees, but it's just people in my life in general. Like you guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here today. A year ago, half you guys didn't know who you guys were. 2 years ago, probably only one or two people. And 3 years ago, you guys didn't even exist in my life. I lived my first 35 years without you guys, and somehow I did okay. But today, my life is better with you guys in it. You know, in the next 1 or 2 years, as long as my life is better with you in it, you'll stay in my life, and vice versa. As long as your life is better with me in it, I'll stay in your life. And as soon as that trade-off stops happening, we'll go our own way, and that's okay. And so, one of the other lessons that um, I've learned along the way is like, how do you keep friends and peers, or how do you get friends? How do you get peers? How do you get relationships with people who, um, yeah, how do you get relationships with people? And I believe it's actually really simple. Is you figure out what they want in life and you help them achieve it, which might mean that you might put what you want in life, you might prioritize their goals over yours. And I think that's where people struggle, is because they're unwilling to make that flip flop. Like, yeah, I'll help you reach your goals unless it takes away from you to reach my goals. And that's where, if you're able to flip flop that, you have a lot more people who want you in their life because they'll recognize that you're actually putting their goals ahead of their own. And that sacrifice is something that is respected. I don't care who you are. That's always respected. So I think that's my one of the one of the lessons that's really served me today is to put other people's goals ahead of my own. And by doing so, I actually get more clarity on what I actually want. Because did I really actually want what I would think I wanted? A lot of times it wasn't. A lot of times my goals were set in personal desires, and they were set with unfulfilled things that like weren't really all that noteworthy. And by helping others, I actually figured out what I wanted a lot more. And 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 today, another thing that another lesson that I learned is like the power of producing versus consuming. How many of you guys, when it comes to the weekends, some of you guys kind of get sad. Some kind of get like bored. You kind of like lose momentum. So this is a signal that you're transitioning from a producer from excuse me, you're transitioning from a consumer to a producer. Because if you understand how American culture works, North American culture. Like you work 40 hours a week to spend the other, whatever it is, 48 hours a week consuming, like doing what you want to doing you. And that's consuming. Where when you're an entrepreneur, you're producing for more than 40 hours a week. But on the weekends, I guess you're supposed to consume as well. And that's what most people do. And all of a sudden they realize they're like, well, this isn't as much fun. And so when you start to feel that, way, it's a signal that you're starting to change from a producer to a consumer, or from a consumer to a producer. And that's a good thing. There I would say that there is cons to that too, is that all of a sudden you'll wake up one day and you have all the resources in the world. You have time, you have money, you have the things you want in life, and you're like, I don't want to do anything with it besides make more of it. And yeah, it's just a different perspective on life, of like, you think that once you have the money, you have the time, that you're gonna like do all these grandiose things with it, and the only thing you want to do is you just want to go produce more. You just want to like go make more of it. You just want to go like hire more employees and produce more revenue and produce more clients and do more. And when you don't, you feel sad. You don't feel sad. You just feel like you're not being fulfilled. And yeah, so if you guys are starting to feel that, like, it's okay. It's okay to have less personal desires of consuming and more desires to just produce and grow. And so like finding things to do on the weekends, as an example, as a way to produce, is okay. It's okay. That's all I'll tell you, is that it's okay. So thank you guys today. Thank you guys for showing today and showing out and getting on here. And hopefully you guys got some value from today. Yeah, man, this this game, it's a game of progress. And that's why we can continue to play this game forever. While it's week 69 of this business, we'll continue to show up and show progress. And as long as you guys get value from it and you guys are making progress as well, that's how we know if we're making, how I know if I'm making progress, if you guys are making progress. That's how we'll know that we'll continue to do this call, is that you guys are able to get value from this, and make your businesses better. And ultimately that's the game, is like, how good can you get? How much better can you become? How much more can you grow your capacity? That's the outcome. Progress. Progress is the outcome. So appreciate you guys. Happy freaking Monday. Again, if you guys are part of the coaching program, Wednesday, get on there. We have a updated release. Be really helpful for a lot of you guys. A lot more clarity. And yeah, so get on that Wednesday call. And then if you're not into the coaching program yet, Katie, how many spots do you have left, did you say?
One.
One spot. If you guys want to hang out with Katie and get coaching with her, James will drop the link one more time down below. And for everybody else, man, happy July, guys. Happy 7/7. Katie's random fact, I just thought about this. Katie's parents were married on 7/7/77, right? Was that right?
Yeah,
Look at
and
that.
there were 7 people there.
And there's other people there. I remember that. I don't know how I remember that, but yeah. So appreciate you guys for showing up today. Happy Monday. We'll see you guys next week on the road to a milli. All right, guys. Bye.